This is a new Python file that contains the same code that we had before, but as mentioned, instead of using this input here as the text or for the text that should be summarized, I want to access code that is written to a specific file. The file should then be accessed, the code should be taken and sent to the API. Then the API should return the summarized text and save it in a new file. For this, we first have to remove this input field and add a placeholder, because now we'll access the text that we stored in a separate file, so in the same folder where the actual Python file is located. That's just the same text that we had before, by the way. And now with the following code, so with open, now in parentheses, the file name and R. So this means we want to open the file and read the content of this file, and we store this as file, so as the file variable, so to say. And now I just want to use the input text variable once again, and in here we now simply run the read function on this file variable. So we basically access this file, so this text.txt file, in read-only mode. And now input text, so this empty variable, should be set equal to the content of our text.txt file, which can be accessed via this file variable now. With this little change already, we should be able to access and summarize the information stored inside this file. And this obviously works. And the cool thing about this approach now, when comparing it to the initial logic we had in this summarize input code, so if I rerun this here and now enter a longer text, you see that it is cut off down here. So after determination 2, it simply exceeds the length of the text that can be added here in the terminal. If I add it to my text.txt file, obviously, I can add the entire text. And if I now rerun my summarized document code, and first exit this with Control Z, and now rerun this code, I don't have any limits here. I can just paste the full text and get back the summary of this entire text here. Now, one last step here is to not only store this result here as output in memory in the terminal, but instead I want to create a new file that contains this summary. For this, after I print the summary, I can again use the with open syntax I used before. Now we'll create a new file named summary text, which we write. So this W here stands for write. The R was read initially to get the content of the initial file. Again, we'll store it in the file variable. And now we simply write the AI response, so what we got back here as content from our response object, and which we store in this AI response variable. So this response should be written to this summary text file. So before we had file read, so we use this read function. Now we have file write and define what should be written into this new file. The file is not existing yet, so let's see if this works as intended. Yes, it does. We created a new summary.txt file, which now contains the text that we received as response for our request. And with that, I want to conclude this API module now. As you saw, using the API significantly enhances the capabilities of the usage of our ChatGPT large language model, so to say. We don't have the exact same model that ChatGPT uses behind the scenes, but with the different models, with the different parameters, and with different application areas, some of these I showed you in this module here, you can bring the whole AI topic to a whole new level. In your own applications, your own websites, or whatever you can think about.